Hello everybody, this is Gregory with Permanent Weight Loss Made Easy, where there should be no hesitancy in your weight loss and in your weight maintenance. Today I'm going to talk about how I faltered. Now before we begin, if you need help with weight loss, contact me through the Clarity FM link found here in the episode notes. Also check out my website, which has hundreds of articles and recipes, my 2 books, which you can find on Amazon, my podcast, The Awakened Man, which is very health related, my podcast, The Cinema Rag, which is on movies, if you like that kind of stuff, and if you appreciate my content, there is a link for PayPal. So what do I mean by faltered? So I didn't eat well yesterday. And again, these are no excuses. You know, it's not like when you hit somebody, it's like, well, they made me do it. I was in a bad mood. You put me in a bad mood. No, I mean, we have to be accountable. I've been consistent here on this channel for the year that it's been here, and I've been consistent in a couple of things. Like, we are accountable for what we put in our mouth. And I also believe in transparency to a certain extent. Like, I want to be honest with you, and I think I'm very transparent in talking about my foibles and my mistakes on my true personal playlists, Confessions of an Obese Child and Revelations of a Weight Loss Warrior, which talks about, the first one talks about my childhood and adolescent experiences being fat, and then Revelations talks about all the kind of dysfunctional eating and all the mental stuff I went through post-weight loss. But yesterday I didn't eat well. I was stressed. I was dealing with personal stuff, dealing with, I'll just keep it vague, kid-related stuff, and I fell into some of the old habits. Going through the drive-through, over-ordering food, being impatient, then thinking, oh, this is not enough food, looking over there and seeing Wendy's, even though I haven't eaten Wendy's in 4 years. So I drive over there after I get the stuff at Taco Bell, then I get stuff at Wendy's. It's always the cheapest stuff because I'm frugal. I can't get like the higher quality stuff anywhere. I got to get like the 99. Don't even get me started. Like, it's interesting how Taco Bell sells 99-cent stuff. But what used to be like $1.99, $1.59, like the cheeseburgers and all that, Wendy's now, like they don't even have that anymore. So it's like, why? They would say it's inflation, but Taco Bell doesn't have inflation? Either way. So I get the food, and like I did when I was in Alaska, I pulled over and ate a lot of food to deal with the stress. And it's interesting because like at the time, I didn't want to think about, like, I know this is not going to help. And this reminds me of my childhood, like the first bite feels good, the second bite feels okay, the third bite, just like when you do heroin and drugs, not that I know what heroin's like, but with drugs and porn and all these things that have the dopamine effect, the first time you do it, it feels so good, and you're always chasing that first high. And it's kind of like when you binge eat, you're always chasing that first bite, and it's like the asset liability ledger, right? The first bite is so high, here's the liability, and then the more you eat, it just gets like, oh, your stomach hurts, oh, and then the asset's gone. So I ate, and it wasn't a lot compared to what I used to in Alaska, but you know, for me it was quite a bit. I think I had like 4 burritos and 2 little cheeseburgers, which wasn't a lot. But I wanted to do an episode on it because I want to show that I'm flawed and that I still make these mistakes here and there, albeit rare. And what do I do the next day about it? Well, we have an episode actually. I did that long ago on it. So today, I'll probably stretch out my fast, drink a lot of fluids because I had an upset stomach. I'm going to work out today and try to sweat a lot of that off. Just the toxins. It's not so much like I'm so concerned, 32 years into the weight loss, like, oh my God, I'm going to get on the scale. How does it affect me? Because I don't weigh myself. I don't necessarily think you need to weigh yourself. We have an episode here, Should You Weigh Yourself All the Time? And I talk about kind of my progression where I used to weigh myself weekly, but I haven't weighed myself in years. So it's not like I'm really worried about like the weight gain or anything like that, because I think you can just check with your pants and so forth. What I need to realize is, A, this was an aberration, an exception, but B, also be cognizant that when you fall off the wagon, this can be an occasion to start a new pattern, which is starting to do this more often, starting to binge eat, because we all have stress. We have stress every day, and we can't use stress as an excuse to go drink too much, to smoke pot, to eat poorly. We can't, because there's always going to be stress. And yes, we can kind of control stress and have useful, effective ways to control stress, but we have to be careful. We just don't want to go down that slippery slope again. And so when you falter, when you lapse, the next day is a new day, like Annie says. The sun will come out tomorrow. It's coming out right now. It's almost 90 degrees. And we just got to move on, and I just got to move on. But I wanted to do an episode on that. And look, a lot of the things that I recommend to you guys when you're feeling that urge in the drive-thru or the checkout counter, you're just all fidgety. I didn't do them. And I want to be honest about that. You guys post in the comments. Let me know, how often do you go through this? Maybe you don't go through it. If you lapse, what are the steps that you do? And if you don't want me to ever post videos where I'm personal, where I falter, if you need to think that I am perfect all the time, you can post that in the comments as well. Until next time, take care, God bless, and pray.